used to seeing out of Benji, I say yes. But it might be overconfidence as he pushes a fight against one of the best players in the world. Now we're switching over to Flois, and for him, it's a shift.
Yeah, for him, he was holding power in game number 1, continues to, dropping down Froggy, who was in second place on the leaderboards at the time, but holding power sometimes comes with a cost. He loses it over to Advise, and we see one of our new players who are in that second place slot.
Second place for Hen after a very good game number 1, and follows it up with a pretty decent game number 2, a 10th place for him, but a couple of elims to boot. And that will put him where he needs to be if he wants to grab that crown at the end of the day, the ultimate sign of power. He falls in 11th, but that's at least solid enough.
Yeah, and this is where power starts for a lot of players in this game. It was Anas who ends up winning, who had Caddy Corner and the mythic loot as well. The Shockwave Launcher, Kit's Charge Shotgun too. And he just made power become his tool in this endgame. He became legend incarnate, literally just personifying the organization he's on and using this entire endgame as a playground. Bouncing people up, shooting them down afterwards. Look at that two-piece right there. Anas looks so dynamic, and yes, we saw Flois with the hunting rifle. We saw him with the charge shotgun last time, but for me, it was Anas's gameplay, his creativity that really separated him from the pack and showed us his use of power.
And Anas, that's kind of what we were talking about at Caddy Corner last time. We saw Thomas there for a brief moment, but this time it goes down. Kit spawns down at the gas station, and that's where Anas is lurking. He had a good game last time in 10th place, but if you want to become a legend at the end of the day, if you want to solidify yourselves among the great, immortalize yourself, you need to have games like that. And Anas and Hen, both at the top of the leaderboards, org mates, and they're standing strong.
Both of these guys are definitely looking to break away. I mean, Anas is ahead of the game, 28 points, but Shy, is that going to hold?
Didn't hold in game number 1 with Flois. I feel like when Anas gets that top slot, he holds it completely, especially at Caddy Corner. So I feel like, yes, that's my call.
I like it. Quick and concise. With that being said, guys, let's throw it into game number 3 here in EU of the FNCS Grand Finals. Casters, we're sending it back your way to get into the action.
Thank you so much, Zeke, Shio, and Bala. Insightful as always, and everyone is looking to become a legend, but right now the Become Legends players occupying first and second. And if you're just joining us, welcome. My name is Sundown, joined here by the fantastic, as always, Clay Stelling. This is match number 3, the halfway point of the EU FNCS Solos Grand Final. And if you're watching at Party Royale and you just dropped in, hit one of those telephone booths, the changing stations. Make sure you get your favorite outfit on, then head on over to the main stage, catch the action out, and you can see where everyone's dropping right now.
And if you notice, the yacht only has one player on it, so I'm interested to see who that player is. Is it Savage? Is it Noah Riley? Who came out on top? And of course, who's going to come out of Caddy Corner on top? That is always a question in all of these players' minds.
Right now you can see cutting over the top. Right now you can see cutting over the top of the lake, but switching over to Anas, who's landing over towards the weather station side on Caddy. You can see looking to figure out if he's going to be able to go through, pick up any amount of that loot, drop down into this area, see what's going on. As of right now, doesn't look like he's actually going to have a contestant in, but you can see also a number of players off and over just to the southwest of him. So right now, first shot coming out, we talked about those early hunting rifle tags, but not quite going to find it again. Anas, game number 2 winner, current first place right now.
And he's in a very good spot to keep that first place, but Hen right behind him. We've got to keep our eye on that elimination feed for that come up as well. If Hen, only 3 points behind, is able to make a play to start to make the ground up, is Vadil going to get some nice shots there. The Doug Splashers, though, are going to get that player up. The nice edit is going to drop the player down. The edit around as well. He's got him boxed up, but the fish is going to escape as Vadil looking to crash pad on in, using the jump there. He's actually not going to go in. He's going to take the wall and the cone up top, and that was so smart to outplay Advise there.
Well done picking up Advise there. We talked about kind of the different types of crash pads and then the variations you're able to use. Him jumping up prevented him from falling in. So then when advised when to exit the situation, got picked up, but now over to Slurpy Swamp. We watched this fight happen last time. Benji aggressively pushed Kiriachi, saying, no splitting going on here. This is my side, but Kiriachi now looking to be the predator instead of the prey and closing in on Benji as he's hitting these slurp barrels. So wants to kind of resolve this beforehand. And now box to box, how do two of the best players in the world close out this box fight? Do they look to take each other on, or are they just kind of trying to disengage the situation? Right now Benji's saying, hey, I need more mats if we're going to go toe to toe.
He disengaged perfectly, got up, and is out. I also want to point out 35 of the current players also competed in the FNCS Invitational Finals. So they've been here before. They've been in this grand finals. They know what to do, especially these two players on the screen right now. As Kiriachi is going to take some damage there from Benji, who is keeping that pressure up with that rare tactical shotgun, and now looking to find a creative way inside. Kiriachi actually went up and around the shots going through, exchanging high ground and exchanging shots. As Benji takes a nice tag there on the Kiriachi. He still hasn't yet to take any damage himself. Kiriachi is still pushing. This is exactly what we expect from him. And Benji baiting him to drop down. And Kiriachi was ready. The back and forth going in favor of Benji right now. Kiriachi keeping the pressure up. Benji going to get tagged up a lot there because he couldn't build the floor. He's trying to pickaxe for that code as the edits come through. Benji going through old builds. This is really good. But once you reset that metal, it's very, very weak. And it's easy to hit. But he's put some distance in between him, Kiriachi, and Dual Media Snipe.
I was about to say, Dual Media Snipe, hearing the action going on, wants to take a peek inside, but he very well knows who's there, and I'm not sure you want to jump on into that pond. Don't want to get boxed like a fish between those two. It's more like getting boxed between two sharks, a rock in a hard place. You pick which one and who's who, because Benji, right now, just again, looks like he's done enough to fend off Kiriachi. You say, how long are we going to do this for? How long are we going to burn mats and just sit here and force each other back? Because both of these players are good enough to hold the other off, or at least make them pay for it if you don't get that initial ambush off of the start, which is why you now see Kiriachi kind of backing up a little bit, making sure he gets some mats before heading back in towards Benji again, looking to potentially respark this engagement.
And I'm not surprised from Kiriachi. He is very, very aggressive, but we'll have to see if that turns out in any of their favors as Seventor now being aggressive onto Diablo. Diablo going to get the initial shots there, and now Seventor can disengage if they want to, but on the edge of zone, really hard to disengage because you're trying to run away, then you're just going to get shot in the back, and it's just unfortunate there. So box to box, diagonal to diagonal, Diablo and Seventor looking to do a little peanut butter edit, look to get that jump shot there. Seventor looking to get any sort of wall take back, and he does, but Diablo ready for it. The shot comes through, the quick reset there, going to get the tag in favor of Seventor, but still not as much HP there as Diablo. His shots are still coming through. He does pop a mini. Continued back and forth over these peanut butter edits. That's that triangle edit that you see as he goes in. He goes aggressive with that crash pad, but Diablo was ready for it. Did you see how many edits he had, how many space he had in between him and Seventor? He was predicting that perfectly, but Seventor's ready for the edit. He's ready for Diablo hopping up, and he said, you know what? I'll bait the heal out, but I'm going to get that elimination.
Yeah, and a really good job from Seventor there, baiting Diablo into something that he had owned and then committed him to the fight, caught him with the builds out, and then following up with the tactical shotgun. And it's really fruitful to resolve that fight because there was a player boxed up right on the edge of zone who would have been able to rain shots down. And again, if you are just joining that, there's the format on the right-hand side. You can see first round of placement points coming through, top 75, next one at top 50. Then it's every 10 players to fall until we reach top 25. Then it's every 5 players until you're into the top 3. So definitely want to be making those end games, but also 1 point per each elimination, as Carrot will pick up Phoenix there. Will also get a point, and that's his second of the match.
And he may have taken coolest out of his name, but right now he's the coolest of the authority, picking that elimination up. He's been very, very good. He actually, I believe, one of the players that came through the open track of the FNCS Invitationals. That happened a couple months ago, but still maintaining prowess over the authority here. He was here back when it was the agency, so dominant performance from Carrot. He's also got the zone there as well. You see him already building up and refarming. In Misty Meadows, however, Ardent looking to set up an ambush like we've talked about, hiding in this little upgrade room. He can catch anybody waiting to upgrade their loot. He's got a great charge to do it with a legendary at that. And look, somebody is taking the bait. They are coming into the house. The question is, will they open it? He set a trap up perfectly. He set a trap up, but he put a wall, Griff. Put a wall there. The peppers, the shields, everything being popped there. Ardent, though, not going to be able to spring the trap as Griff was ready for it, and Griff turns the tide.
Sometimes you set the trap and the bait, but turns out you are the bait and you don't reel in what you want. That's what we talked about. He was looking for a slurp fish and instead pulled one of the loot sharks there. Griff turning it around after a rough game number 2, getting eliminated pretty much basically off drop. Ardit trying to spring a little bit of an ambush there, but instead going down. So good job on Griff, who we saw also had a very, very, very impressive run in order to make the qualifier here, but now on board with E11's Tayson, a player who we saw be super successful in the heats yesterday. The problem is he hasn't necessarily really converted it today. We've consistently seen him towards the top. He was actually 7th coming in, so not doing too bad today, but probably also a little bit outside in terms of the placement that he would be wanting, averaging a top 27 placement and 5 elims total across the 2 games.
And I think that may be due to the amount of loot that he's getting. He is in Steamy with 2 other players. It's really, really hard to find all that loot. And you see it in his inventory right now. He does have crash pads, but that common AR is not going to net you a lot of eliminations. He's going to have to find a way to upgrade that, whether that be through an impact elimination or finding one naturally, as it seems like this is the open side of zone, and that meaning there's not that many people all around him. He's got a little space to work with there. Someone who doesn't have that much space is there's a lot of players nearby. Bad sniper. He does have 15 points, a decent first couple of games, but not where he wants to be. There is a player nearby. He's got to be careful with the snipe, and if you don't have it, he's going to turn the beams back onto him, but not going to hit it. He is only 22 above Storm Surge, and that is nowhere near safe, as you see it already ticking down to 19.
Yeah, and that Storm Surge threshold on the right side of your screen there. The number for zone number 3 is 70, so currently 17 players have to go down. Bad Sniper will be starting to look for tags here, but also doesn't necessarily want to overbuild himself too much because he doesn't have a ton of materials and he is out in the open. So if he has a lot of players who opt to end up spamming towards him, it can be difficult. And he's not in the safe zone yet, and now only 4 above. You talked about how kind of that threshold just keeps on ticking. So he's trying to trade some tags out, get himself above. We have Ovation Arion and Smudge closing in on him, as well as 2 players already in the zone and coming back, and this is going to be key. And he got it! Huge tags and the Elim coming on to Meta Shrimsy. Super unfortunate, using the crash pads desperately trying to get in zone, but even with those tags, only 62 above.
And you can tell he's not happy with it. He's already looking to move into zone and set up for another couple tags because he's going to need it. The 62 above just turned to 60 above, and then it's going to turn to 52 above. And you're going to start trickling down that leaderboard as everybody near you looks to get eliminations. But Bad Sniper maybe looking to set up an ambush here onto Kezix. Will be a snipe nearby Skype there, as well as a sniper shot is going to ring there. Not actually going to connect onto anybody, but Snipe looking to be aggressive on his tags. Again, is above Storm Surge, but not by much, as we see Lecce take down Supremacy's limit there. Snipe, though, has a very good position in zone. He can rotate to his right or his northeast there to really make a play on that side of zone. His shots are going to come through. He heard that sniper shot come through, and that player got tagged up by everybody, and Ovation's Arion is going to fall down.
To a single shot going through there, and we talk about it, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and it's sometimes worth just throwing the AR bullets over, both for Storm Surge tags, but you might get a little bit of that RNG on your side and pick up the elimination. Somebody else did most of the work, the hunting rifle shot coming through, but he'll be the benefactor there as Kinzel now is going to put some pressure here onto Flopper Michael. Again, a number of players still under that Storm Surge tag, so you can expect the passive players to push through. Storm Surge will impact the players who have done the least amount of damage to opponents, but Flopper Michael punishing Kinzel there, who was under that pressure, as 4 more players will need to go down before it turns off. Controller 007 picks up Maestro. Gambit's Moaka also goes down, but you can see Flopper Michael also under pressure here. He was the player who had the brilliant crash pad play yesterday. Can he set up another one here and end up converting, as now we're swing on over to Anas, get a nice little replay, see what's going on here. Chaining the crash pads, landing directly on top of the player and catching him over on the side. Spen, what are you doing? Cover your back, man. You can't be doing that on the edge of the zone. But Anas pushing himself further out towards the lead. Don't forget, he was in first place with 28 points, now sitting on 30, courtesy of the elimination and the first placement threshold.
Very great play from Anas to realize that he was being ambushed here as well. Very quickly got out of the situation. Now, Andy looking to be aggressive and looking to push. The shots are still coming through. Anas continues his dominant solo performance. He plays 16 in the solos FNCS Invitational and 9th in DreamHack. And he's recently been turning online, in these last couple of months. It's been really great to see him come into someone who could become a legend, especially after being picked up by that organization. With this disengage, though, it nets him a lot. He's able to refarm some of this metal as well if he wanted to hit that fence there. Refarm a lot of this wood as well. Benji picking up an elimination is good for him. But Anas, while he was in a good spot, now he's getting pinched by these players.
And I believe he also had a pretty solid performance at DreamHack Anaheim, flying out to that land and making it to the grand final there, but now hopping on board another player who was there. Bad Sniper, though, under pressure from Atlantis' Lecce. Trying to get in the box. Bad Sniper disengaging. Does have plenty of shields and floppers if he can make the space, however. Now in the zone, and that's a 2-tick zone that as soon as it passes over and it closes, it's going to go to a 5-tick zone. So Bad Sniper is going to have a lot of the pressure here in terms of having the chug splashes and having the floppers compared to Lecce. Don't know his loadout, but doubt he has as much heals as that, and going to be punished there. Yep, no additional white heals coming out, so the Siphon really beneficial for Bad Sniper there, and he has a relatively clear path to the zone now. You can see on that bottom right-hand corner, only 1 or 2 players who are going to be in his way.
And that's always unfortunate, is getting eliminated in zone as you're just trying to rotate through. As Anas doing the same. He's got white heals, but it's only in bandages, and he is popping them this time, but he's got to be careful. This elimination will net him so much. It'll give them loot, and if that player has any white heals as well, it'll be so good as Andy is staying more healthy than Anas. The zone, once it closes, like you said, 5-tick, and now it goes down. Shots are going through between each other, and Andy's got that flopper. He's going to be able just to outlive Anas here unless Anas makes a play, but no, Anas going down, and that's number 1 out of the game.
Anas being taken out there, the pressure from the storm, the 5-tick zone. Andy eating all the cabbages, knows exactly where they went, directly into his stomach there. Also has the floppers and the bandages as well. So I'm actually going to argue that he should have used the bandages there and allowed the cabbages to tick himself over the top, but instead going to pop that flopper, going to limit some of his mid-game and later game options there, but opting for safety is now swing on board with reason. Relatively solid performance, was in 9th coming into this game, currently sitting on 18 points, and has a decent loadout for the end game. However, a long rotation he's going to have to make here, Clay.
And he has no crash pads and only 1 pepper. He's going to have to get creative with it, whether it be third-partying this site. We did see Scram fall. Rezon just going to hop in, and that's going to be PCH, who is not expecting it. You have to reset those walls. You cannot afford to make those mistakes right now.
This is Grand Finals in Europe, the most played in region, arguably the most aggressive and most talented region as well. If you are able to convert on elimination, please do everything possible and make sure you're safe. It's all about covering yourself up afterward and allowing yourself to be in a position to continue on in the game, and Reason is so good at capitalizing on others' mistakes. Now notice, built up on the high ground, use those hard materials to make sure he's established and safe, but for Strokey, trying to encroach a little bit on this real estate, and that's the fights you're going to see. Reason opting to drop down and just return to his safety as everyone else is going to rotate into the zone. This is zone number 4, so priority positioning is going to be towards the outside. We're going to be keeping an eye on who ends up going towards high ground and then who is slaying out on that low ground.
Easy able to make it here. Another player able to make it into this end game is going to be Savage. And with that off-spawn elimination on the Noah Riley, I'm assuming with that elimination there, Noah Riley went down early. It's got to be Mr. Savage taking him down. But as you see, that is coming through. Nice and pick up there by Savage, but someone trying to capitalize on him. Shots coming through. He's going to pick up a double. Heat's going to go down. Queasy going to go down. The pressure's not done yet. The crash pad's coming in, and the crash pad master, Mr. Savage, going to be able to pick some up there. And he's ready to fight. He's ready to go aggressive, but someone on top of him, going to be Bad Sniper there, trying to box right and box the box. Steady there as well. Savage really needs to make a play to get out of this. Going up into an old build will get him out for now. And what a phenomenal heads-up play. That's what you do when you get elimination. You realize there's more players nearby you, and you take them out as well.
And Exqueezy picking up an Elim there. I believe that was on the Keelix, but we have our top 50, so Storm Surge turning back off. Second placement point going over, and don't forget, this is game number 3, so we're about to be at the midway point. This is a fantastic opportunity with a NOS down for somebody else to unseat him and become that front runner. And we talk so much about momentum and whether or not you can hang on and whether or not you can get running. And Froggy, a player who thrives on momentum, finding a key elim there on the backside of the zone, using the launch pad, then getting in on the priority. Half in, half out, now closing in. After this, it will be all moving zones, so it's all about making sure you're safe, finding rotations, figuring out.
Lewick looking to capitalize on someone not paying attention to their wall. You see inside the cone, just sitting there waiting. He could crash pad him. We've seen it before. We saw it go against Benji. There's Hidden. He's going to fall as well. Hidden goes down. What a big elimination there. Another player near the top of the leaderboard going down. Safik falling as well. Lewick is dropping down, though. He knows there's players riding below him, but he wants a piece of the action because he's only got 53 builds. He definitely needs to find something. His ammo lacking as well. 5 shots with that charged shotgun is going to go through in an instant in this end game, so he has to pick up an elimination. He also does not have priority on rotation as it's pulling away from him. Or crash pads in his inventory will allow him to rotate, but not as effectively as some of these other players, and he set this trap. He's waiting for this player to just make the wrong edit and go out, but I doubt that they're going to fall for it.
Well, he's waiting. He does have priority on the zone. There's a player right next to his box. I wasn't sure if that player was on the cone. He finds the 83 tag and then follows up right away. ADN going down in 41st, misses the placement point, so a huge... Watch out for those sharks and those aggressive players, the playmakers, and the ones who are going to be the one driving the action as we're on board here with Dual Media Snipe. Currently below the threshold for the Storm Surge, but that should turn off shortly here. Only 7 players need to fall. Dual Media Snipe will add into it right now, pushing himself above by taking out Griff and potentially finding a nice little upgrade there in terms of his... Yep, he will. He will get the legendary shotgun in there as well. And we're closing in on top 30 as 7-Tor picks up Nate.
And with Snipe's inventory, he had 7 crash pads. This is what you want in this meta. You want to have as many crash pads as you can. As bad Sniper is going to be caught trying to take a shield. Mongo's in this game. Xweeze is in this game. Lewick is in this game as well. We have yet to see Savage go down. Flo is in this game here. Rifla as well. 2 eliminations, 79 builds. We'll see if he's going to be able to get any more.
Deceptos is also still up. We saw him there on the wide. That was the player who was in 3rd. He should be able to push up as every 5 players will be a placement point. Reason gets ticked over by Frenzy Fishy. Orange takes out Cartoon. 7-Tor gets Sebi, closing in on top 20. That's another point going over as now Rifla looking to add his name to that list of the Become Legends players pushing their way up the leaderboard. But Deceptos picks up Wanloss and Savage picks up Z Andy. So still a who's who of top players left, but that's everyone in the lobby as Thomas HC gets another one. Mongrel picks up an Elam and Rifla ends Mr. X's run. Skype also getting orange. 2 more players will need to drop before we close in on that top 10 as 7-Tor also gets Mongo. But the question is, who's on the high ground and is there caddy loot? And right as I say that, Thomas HD with that mythic shockwave launcher. Can we make it? 3 out of 3. Rifla though, bottom right hand corner of your screen. Dual Media Snipe, top right hand. 5 elims for Snipe, 3 for Rifla. Thomas on the high ground and the wide on your left.
And Thomas using it so well, but Rifla is doing just as well as he's being aggressive there on to players of leave. That's going to be a squeeze in the box as he is going to get the elimination there. Thomas may have the high ground right now, but Rifla is putting on a show. Snipe as well, 5 eliminations. Ludwig going to get taken down there by Fadil. I'm going to take down another one as they're going up the mountain. He's reloading that shotgun because he's going to need it as crash pads going through. 6 eliminations there for him. 4 for Rifla in the bottom right. Thomas still on the high ground. We're going up a mountain.